Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Season 2 of Endzone 2. Last time we established our settlement, but everything is looking a little bit all over the place at this moment in time. We have a toxic rainstorm coming in very soon, and we don't really have the ability to prepare our settlement for this, which is a bit of a shame. But we do have some things that we can do to negate this as much as possible. One of those things is going to involve research. We do have some research points right now, but we do need to unlock the swamp farm, which we are going to do first and foremost. Once that is unlocked, we're going to be able to get back out into the wasteland. Obviously, over here, we've got a couple of requests from our citizens to restore various ruins. We aren't able to do that right now because we don't have the bricks that we might require to do that. Now, I do have my clay pit set up with someone working in it, but right now the population here is not at its highest, and we do want to kind of push that a little bit further. My thoughts are then to kind of move a lot of my population out to an area that isn't going to be impacted so much by these things. And the problem is I've put my town centre there and I can't actually move it, which is a bit of a shame. It would be nice to be able to actually relocate this, but we can't do that right now. Unfortunately, there's not a lot I can do about that. These people want to be close to a town centre, I would guess, or near a market. Now, we could build a market once we've researched it, and that would help them immensely. Our market is right there. It's one of the second things that we unlock. If we get bricks, we can do that. So my proposal then is to start demolishing and rebuilding things in a more appropriate area for my settlers, and then I can have like a much more industrialized zone here because we've got water there, we've got the clay pit, we've got some mines and stuff, and then we've got obviously the forests and the fertile land, which you can see if we go to our overlay. We can show up the soil analytics, which sees this space with quite a nice bit of green space, and then over there the swamp. So if we have our housing here, we could put a little scrapyard there to start demolishing some stuff, but currently our scrapyard can demolish this whole town here pretty much, and that would be really helpful too. So our scrappers and everything can be over here. We can have trees and forestry over here, as well as some more scrap being collected. We can start reforesting most of the other area, and then we've got this lovely space where we can get some nice farms set up. So it's actually a pretty good space for our settlement. We just need to move the population into this space here because it's a far nicer area. So I'm going to turn on my blueprint mode, and I'm going to start placing my tents in this space. I want to put 7 in there, so we're going to go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. We'll do 8, and then in that middle bit we might be able to fit something. Actually, we're going to just demolish that. We'll demolish that and that one. In fact, we'll get rid of all of these ones that I've just put in. I want to make sure that I leave a space for a road to go through here. There. Now, we do have a sickness to deal with, which is going to be a massive issue because we don't actually have the ability to do that right now. So we're going to have to hope that we're able to solve that issue and ride out that storm, because people will die and there's nothing we can do about that. It might well be that placing a graveyard is going to help us right now, but for now we're going to just put a load of roads around this space here, and that's pretty much where our new residential zone is going to be. And it's going to kind of trail off where this industrial area is, and that's going to come into the center of this space here. It doesn't look like I can get it dead center, which is a shame, but we'll have it come up to here, and then it can kind of tune off there. Then we've got a bit more space there to get that in place. Good. Right, let's very quickly then build a cemetery graveyard. We'll put it just to, let's put it here. Actually, we might as well make use of this new space that we've just put in. I'm going to put it there because that will mean I've got a little bit of space there to put some gardens or something in. We can put a campfire in here. I'm going to put it right in the middle there, and that's going to help our settlers. This is all blueprinted, and then the pavilion will go, we'll put the pavilion, let's put it here. I'll put it there, and then we can potentially put some decorative items either side of it to make it look a little bit better. Or we go down here and then surround it with gardens or something. Although I think there's quite a nice place for it. There we go. Right, we'll get the cemetery built. That's the most important thing. to stop people dying, and off we go. Let's leave it unpaused. Then we want to get our vehicles here. They're going to drop off some goods, and as are these guys. They've got stuff in already. What have you got? Right, okay, good. So let's head on to the north, which is kind of the last place I had a look at. There is some items there that I'm going to go and pick up, and unfortunately there's not a lot we can do here. We just need to hope that everything kind of works out. The deaths are kind of starting to get out of control. We don't have any master builders at the moment, so we better actually very quickly sort that out. Let's go to our settlement management, and we'll just take everybody out very quickly and get ready to start this again, because this process is not looking good so far. We're gonna take everyone out. We're then gonna have people come and build that. Ooh, this is not good. There's about 1 minute left on that sickness. Still waiting for people to come and build that. Let's master builders. There we go. They're going to build it now. Hopefully they'll clear the corpses and we can start replenishing the population. It's going to be a shame that my town centre is left like that, but I'm happy to just deal with it. There's not a lot we can do without moving everything. I should have placed that town centre a little bit more carefully, really. Thankfully, though, the corpses will move very quickly once we've got them done. We are losing our food and water, so again, we'll put people back into the jetty and back into the fishery, and that should see it start to increase again. That's good. Excellent. Right, so what I can do now is I can actually demolish the campfire to get some goods back. We'll demolish the pavilion, and then we'll start demolishing these tents. Now, I know we kind of screw ourselves over a little bit here by demolishing these, because they then don't have access to the town centre. That's okay. We've got homeless people there, and we can start queuing up the construction of these buildings to get everybody moved back in. We'll also construct that campfire. There we go, and there we go. Right, excellent. Everything's going to get rebuilt there, even though we do have some homeless people. The town centre, we currently have an interesting ruin, and that is actually something that we might be able to do. We do require copper cable to rebuild that. They want us to do that. How long have we got? I'm going to accept that. Then, if we have a look at the task board here, we've got 20 minutes to do that. So if we can just find some copper cabling while we're out and about, we might actually be able to do this very quickly. Let's carry on then. Send our vehicles off, and there's something here that we can grab. Excellent, and then we'll keep on pushing through. Another ruin here. Excellent, and then keep on going through. We'll hopefully come to an expedition of some sort. There's one. It's an old medical facility, so let's go into that. Okay. Right, there's quite a bit here. It looks like we might need something to get into the door. We need a fire axe. I don't know if we're going to have that nearby, but we can at least have a poke around and see what we can come up with. There's a ladder there, which I will take because we do need it. We'll take that and keep a hold of everything there. Then we've got a barrel and the crate, which requires a lockpick, which gives us some iron. All right, then we'll end our expedition. We'll put everything into the Pathfinder and end the expedition for now. Good. Right, our buggy's full as well, so let's head back to our main base. We'll unload all of that stuff. Now, over here, the job assignments we can have a look at now, because that got a little bit tense, but we have now sorted it. We've got a campfire there. They want a campfire, so I'll say that I'll do it because there's one there. Excellent. Wonderful. That gives me some nice rewards. And then the tree nursery here. We've got a tree nursery, we've got a wood cutting lodge, we've got our weaving mill and our plantation. We've also finally unlocked our swamp farm, so let's go to our research, and the market would be our next step, but unfortunately we don't have access to that yet. So pushing for the water towers and the upgraded food depot is going to be our next task, but we do need the brickworks. And I've got that researched. We haven't yet unlocked it, so let's quickly build industry, mine, trades and crafts, the brickworks. So the brickworks does need to be near coal production, and unfortunately we don't yet have that. We'll leave it at the efficiency that it's currently on, so that's fine. And if we can upgrade that wind turbine in 17 minutes, we'll be in a very good position. I'm wondering if there's anything more around that side of the map, so we'll explore that next, see if we can just get, like, we just need to tag one expedition, and that'll really help us. So we'll get the clay pit to work, we'll get 2 people working in that, and then we'll slowly start churning out stuff at the brickworks, and that should be very useful. Wood then, let's have a look. We could do with our tailor's workshop getting back up and running, as well as the coal kiln, and the wood cutting lodge and the tree nursery, just to keep replenishing the wood that we've got. We'll get someone working in that well, the weaving mill and the plantation. The population should continue to increase though. We have managed to get that starting to come back up, which is good after the deaths that we did end up getting. But for now, what I'm going to do is I want to put the plant encyclopedia and the plank back, because we tend to find them out in the wasteland anyway. Then we're going to head over to here, and we are going to start grabbing some stuff from that area. Now, having a look over here, we've got a well there that's ready to go, and then looking at the woodcutting lodge here, we do need to get that up and running as well, and the workshop, and the scrapyard, and the recycler. Right, okay, so jobs are now out. They are starting to get stuff, which is good. We're going to move these woodcutters over to this space here. I know it's going to take them twice as long to get the wood, and that's fine. But right now it's really important that we start producing the bricks that we need. So if I have a quick look here, you can see we've got 2 bricks, which is going to help us out. Once we get to 10, we can research the extra stuff that we need. Now, heading back out over here, you can see we have reached whatever this is, and we can take some stuff, and then we'll start heading off in this direction. And again, just continuing to take whatever we can find in this area. We'll just continue filling up our vehicles and moving around the map. All of this is going to be really helpful to get us like continuing our expansion and keep going with this settlement. Lots of cloth and plastic, which is really useful. And there's an old house here. Now, this is one of the houses in my last playthrough that I did have a bit of trouble with. Something just wasn't working properly. So there's a trash container here that we can grab. And then we can start having a look around inside the house itself. So round here at the back, you just saw there as the terrain changed a little bit. We can get into the garage through that way, but the main access into the house is through this crumbled wall. And in here, we'll find a washing machine and a shelf. There's also the axe, which we desperately need, which is good. And we'll just head back around there. We'll grab the axe because I think we need to use that to smash through the wall to get into the main part of the house. Looting the car gives us some iron, I think that is, or it might be lead. Then we can go and smash through this decayed wall with the axe. There we go, and we are in. And the code for the safe is there, 5370. So we can head upstairs where the safe is. 5370 is what we need. That gives us some more points. We can smash through this decayed wall here to get into there, get the shelf, and find the safe. The code is 5370. In we go. Excellent. And that gives us 70 vaccine ampules. We've also unlocked the hunting lodge for free. That is very good. Now, down through here, there was a final thing that we can loot in the shape of a shelf, and that gives us a little bit more. But that has been a very successful exploration. We can now get back down, and hopefully what we need is an industrial unit of some description, because if we can get into that and get some copper cabling, we'll be able to finish off the request for our citizens. We've unlocked that hunting cabin, which is really, really useful. Let's get that, and then we'll carry on around. Keep on going. That is a new settlement access point where we can build something new. But for now, we'll just head on around here, speeding on over. We might be able to finish that one. I think that needed the axe. This one, they can load up that loot there, and then we can head over here, loot up what's left of this. can't get that in there. What about the Pathfinder? They can certainly fit in that and the plastic. And then we'll head back to this area here, start the expedition. I think it was an axe that it needed in here to break down the door. There we go, we're in, and there's a shelf, the checkout, which will be a bit of lore from the old world. Yep, excellent. Get those rubber gloves and get more vaccine ampules. Excellent. Right, we can't fit them in yet, so we'll end our expedition. We'll see if we can fit anything in here. We can certainly fit the vaccine ampules in, but we can't get the rubber gloves in. What if, though, I pull you over to here and let's just move away a little bit and then exchange with that vehicle. Yep, we can put that in, we can put that in. Perfect. And then we can bring you back, loot up that, and there we go. Excellent. Right, now let's head back home and drop all of this gear off as well. And this is really going to help us out in the future. And what have we got here? We've got another task. They want a big party. Yeah, we can do that. There we go. Done. They have a party. That gets them really happy. Their health is looking pretty poor, though. But we've got a campfire. We've got a pavilion. We have a graveyard. Now, if we just drop down the amount of people working in that graveyard, we should be fine. And we're also going to need to have a look at the swamp farm, which we can actually put up here and start farming that swamp. So we're going to build that. Then we're going to have a quick look over here. We can put in a road that goes along here, coming out there and matching up there. Good. Right, now the swamp farm can start getting herbs and stuff for us. Obviously, this market, we've got 7 minutes left for that ruin. And currently, if we have a look over here, let's find our copper cable. We've got rubber. We've got 15 units of copper cable. What do we need for that? We need 25. Okay, let's have a look at our expeditions. There's the scrapyard. That could be there. So we need a generator, an axe, and a ladder. Alright, so when these guys get home, hopefully going to have enough time for this. We might need to use the buggy, though. Just look at how quickly that's gotten back. They've got the generator in, so that's fine. I'm going to send the buggy. We have a quick look and focus over there. We're going to send the buggy there now. Unpause. Then we'll have the Pathfinder follow up. It's nearly home, so that's fine. We can get there and we can do this. Hopefully. How long's left on the task? We'll have to wait for this autosave to complete. There we go. We've got 6 minutes left. Now it's all reliant on the Pathfinder being able to get this back quickly. And they also needed a ladder and that, which I've got. We'll head down here. And then, oh no, that's not where I need to go. We need to go here and we need to go to our expedition and go back out to the scrapyard. There we go. Right, okay, so I'm going to start this expedition now because if we can get into this space, it'll be a good start. We can climb up the ladder there. And then we'll crawl through the air conditioner. Now, the delivery truck will usually have stuff for us. Then there's the car. And to break through the door, though, we do need the axe. So we can't get any further. There is an axe here that we can use. Oh, this is good. Grab the axe, we'll break down the door. And then the cable drums might have what we need. We could get back with this now and leave the rest. It's the copper cabling. Yes. Right, we'll quickly loot up because all of this stuff can just be left here and it's less work for the next phase. We've got to climb down that ladder, get the generator. And back up the ladder, we need to plug the generator in to open up the door, the main door. That'll give us access to that. Control panel should just be there and we can hook up the generator, which opens the doors. Then we do that. There we go, the doors are open. We can come through here. We can go and get the crate. Excellent. Then we go over to the car. I think maybe we are going to do this. This could be a very nice way to end the episode. Copper bar, yeah, excellent. Over to the barrel here. And that is iron. And the toolbox over here should give us some gloves. Excellent. Right, okay, good. Container, and then I think that is the end of it. That is now 100 complete. Excellent, great. Then we just need to, what we're going to do is we're going to come back in here. We're going to grab the ladder and the generator. Put those back in our backpack. Climb back through the air conditioner. Then grab the ladder from there. Because we don't actually need these now that we've set up the space here. Grab them, put them in, and end the expedition. Now, the only thing we need to take back is that copper cable. But I will grab the rubber gloves and the iron tools. We'll end the expedition. We're just going to very quickly pause. Then we are going to head back up to the settlement. We've got 6 minutes left. And then, once the Pathfinder is where it should be, we can pick up whatever was left from that expedition. We've also now got a reliable source of scrap for when this space runs out. We can put all of this into the settlement. There we go. Pause it again. And then we can construct the old wind turbine. Now, we're not actually going to be able to use that for quite a while yet, but that's really useful. Now, our settlers want a school, and we're quite far off a school, I think. No, we're not that far off. We do need paper, though, so that's going to require a paper mill, which we get from the swamp farm. But the market is my big thing next. So we are good on bricks. We do need more food. So if we can put someone else, we've got 3 working in the fishery already. But what we don't have is a forager's hut. I think we're missing one of those. Yes. So the wind turbine works. We get a nice reward for that. Let's get a forager's hut in here then. We can put that just kind of up here on the corner. We'll build it, and then we'll have them work in this space here. So that should get a nice bit of food income for us. We're obviously not doing this to code, I suppose, because we do need to redevelop and move a few things around here. Thankfully, though, we are protected. We don't have a power grid connection because we've not yet researched it, but we do have quite a few research points now from the runs that we've been doing. So if we have a look at the paper mill, we need 25 reeds, which we produce on swamp farms. I think we need to unlock that seed. Let's just have a quick look. If we change the seed now, oh no, we've already got it unlocked, but we've got herbs. That's what we're going to need first. That's really important. I wonder if, can we do like a 50-50 split of these? So that's 42. It's 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. And then are we able to change the seed to that? No, we aren't. It's just the actual farmland, so we can't actually do any sort of 50-50 jiggery-pokery with this, unfortunately. We'll put that to there. We'll change the seed. We're just going to go with herbs for now. And then I guess we could build another swamp farm. And then that should see us start getting the paper mill. Or what we could do, actually, we'll change the seed to reeds for now. Then we'll harvest the reeds that we need and then change the production over to herbs. Good. Right. That's done. Over here, we'll load up whatever's left in this space. Obviously, we're going to need to come back and pick up the additional items here. Then we're going to head back to base. And these guys are going to just drop off the blowtorch and the generator. They'll head back and get the final bits from that expedition. And yeah, we're all good. So that's looking pretty nice. I think this is a good place to end our episode today. So yeah, as you can see, things are looking pretty much in a much better way now here in Terra Nova. Obviously, there's a little bit more work to do to get everything in a better state, and I think what I'll do is off camera, I'll spend a bit of time reforesting some areas and just reorganizing this space. It might well be that I end up moving things back to the town centre, but for now, this is a decent start. I would like to invest a little bit more into charcoal and things like that and getting all of that set up, but we're quite far off that and we've made a decent start. It might be time to look at building another settlement somewhere in the future, but that's all for now. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.